Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Mom Luna and all my loving and pleased classmates. In this opportunity, we would like to present the second material that is about needs analysis. Before going to the materials, let me introduce ourselves. We are from the second group. I'm Elisa and my partners Zainal Abidin, Kamal Araminda Salsabila, Khairun Nisa, and Arina Sri Pertiwi. Now, I want to explain the first point of this material. Why do we need to define the context? There are three reasons here. The first reason is knowing the culture of the students we are designing a course for. Its purpose and the view of the community will affect the objectives of the course. The second is constraints of the context will offer a clear direction for formulating realistic and appropriate goals. And the last is environment, teaching factors, teaching resources, and institutional factors. Next, needs analysis. What and why? EY at 1999, he stated about the term needs analysis generally. Needs analysis refer to the activities that are involved and in collecting information that will serve as the basis for developing a curriculum that will meet the needs of a particular group of students. Then, what is need analysis aims to do? Needs analysis aims to help determine if a language course addresses the needs of potential students, identify needs of certain professional, the tasks they will perform, and language characteristic of certain tasks. Then, identify a gap between what students are able to do and what they need to be able to do. So, assess the level of language acquisition, and last is to determine cultural, political, personal characteristic of students. I think enough, and the next will be explained by my partner.
The next is definitions of needs. Needs are often described in terms of linguistic deficiency, that is, as describing the difference between what a learner can presently do in language and what he or she should be able to do. This suggests that needs have objective reality and are simply the right thing to be identified and analyzed. Subjective needs found to participants' likes and reports, and objective needs found to objective measures such as tests or interview, etc. A gap between current state of affairs and future state of affairs. Ini berarti proses membandingkan keadaan saat ini dengan keadaan masa depan yang diinginkan. Kemudian membuat serangkaian tindakan yang akan menjembatani kesenjangan yang teridentifikasi. It contains desired demand, expectation, and constraints. Planning an ESL curriculum should seek to enable students to critically examine and become active in shaping their own roles in it. Next, typology of needs. There are two typology of needs, namely 1. Target needs or product. It-related needs, what language skills the learners need to do in the target situation. 2. Learners need or process. It-related needs, what the learners need to do in order to learn or what the learners need to do reach his learning objectives. Next, food for thought. There are 4 things to think about seriously about need analysis, namely, not all language learners are aware of their needs. In EFL high school context, students might not have immediate needs, and the curriculum relies on administrator and educator as well as student perceived and present needs as well as potential and unrecognized needs.
Hello friends, I will continue the presentation. The next of this presentation is to tell about the various focuses of need analysis. The aim of this chapter is to look at the range of information that can be gathered in need analysis. Just like Hasintan and Waters said, and McAllister and Nation divide target needs into, there are 3 targets of this need analysis. For the first is necessities. Necessities is what the learners has to know in order to function effectively in the target situation. And the second is lack. Lacks is what the learners know already and what do they lack. And the third is wants. Wants is what the learners decide to learn and what learners want to learn at the same as what they actually need to learn. We will compare about target situation analysis versus present situation analysis. For the first, TSA or target situation analysis is identification of future needs can be described in terms of situation, skills, functions, topics or communicative functions, grammar and vocabulary. And the next, PSA or present situation analysis is students' strengths, weakness, institutionalities, preference, and etc. ASA or a target situation analysis framework. In this framework, we will use some questions. It's like, why is the language needed? How will the language be used? Medium channel type of text discourse. What will the content areas be? Just like subject or the level. Who will the learners use the language with? And where will the language be used? Just like physical setting, human, and linguistic context. And the last, when will the language be used?
Hello everyone, my name is Zainal Abidin. I will continue the explanation of this material. The next material is learning needs. What is learning needs? Learning needs is the gap between the learner's current level of knowledge and skills and the level of knowledge and skill required to perform a task or a set of tasks. The actual needs differ as to the methods employed to meet those needs. Why are they important? The literature suggests that, at least in relation to continuing professional development, learning is more likely to lead to change in practice when need assessment has been conducted. The education is linked to practice. Personal incentive drive the educational effort, and there is some reinforcement of the learning. Learning needs assessment is thus crucial in the educational process. They are key steps in the learning cycle. It is worthwhile spending time doing a thorough learning needs assessment. After all, it is what will drive the learning process during the dryness attachment. There are formal and informal ways of identifying your learning needs. There are two questions in the learning needs. The first is what knowledge and abilities will the learners require in order to be able to perform to the required degree of competence in the target situation. And the second is, what does the expert communicator need to know in order to function effectively in the target situation? And the answer is, the needs probably include what language items, skills, strategies, or subject knowledge learners must have to be able to use the language effectively in the target situations. There are five of framework of learning need analysis. Number one is, why are the learners taking the course? Number two is, how do the learners learn? Number three is, what resources are available? Number four is, who are the learners? And number five is, where or when will the course take place? There are six of user of need analysis. Number one is, curriculum officer in the Ministry of Education. Number two is, teachers of the new curriculum. Number three is, learners talk in the curriculum. Number four is, writers writing new textbooks. Number five is, trainers responsible for designing training programs private institutes. And number six is, employers interested in improving job performance. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Kamala Raminta Salsapil, and now I will explain about procedures for conducting need analysis. In conducting need analysis, a variety of procedures can be applied, and the kind of information obtained is often depend on the type of procedure selected. There are procedures for conducting need analysis, which is as follows. Triangulation is used, test data, reports by teachers, samples of student writing, portfolios, conference, journals, and diaries, expert opinions, surveys, related literature, interviews, and questionnaires with students or teachers. The next is target populations. Target populations are targets to our research conclusions. Who are the target populations in needs analysis?
As you can see on the screens, there is learners, teachers, academics, employers, policymakers, parents, community agency, Ministry of Education officials. The last submatery is methods for need assessment. There is a necessary, lacks, and wants. To shorten the presentations, you may be able to read directly what is on the screen or the PPT that has been shared on the group. Thank you for your listening. May all those we have shared been beneficial for all of us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.